can I get a motion to go into executive session to discuss personnel, possible litigation, and real estate acquisition? Second?
Second.
Vote?
Yes.
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 Okay. Going into executive session. Okay, we just completed an executive session, and I'm going to call on the city attorney to give a report.
Thank you, Mayor. Just to report out, the council met in executive session to discuss personnel, real property, and pending litigation matters. Those are allowed under the exceptions to the Open Meetings Act. The original documents required by state law have been signed and delivered to the staff to be included with the minutes of this meeting. There were no votes taken in executive session.
All right, thank you. The rest of the meeting will start promptly at 6 o'clock. Okay, I would like to welcome everyone to our council meeting. Would everybody please rise? And I'd like to invite our guest, Reverend Joseph Carty, to give our invocation.
Let's pray, shall we? Lord God, I thank you so much for the opportunity to come together and talk about our great city of Auburn. Lord, you have said in your word in James 1:5 that if anybody lacks wisdom, ask and you will be given. I thank you for the wisdom that you've already given our elected officials and those who are serving our community. I pray that you continue to give them this wisdom, this united wisdom, as we grapple with the direction of our city. And I pray, Lord, that all the words that will be shared here will be words of respect and diplomacy, and that everybody will be able to leave this place friends. As we pray in the name of Jesus.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May I have council reports? Staff and council reports?
Yes, Mayor, I just wanted to update everyone on our upcoming events. The craft show that we're supposed to have this weekend has been moved to next weekend due to the weather that's coming our way. So next weekend we'll have, on the 22nd, we'll have the craft show along with the car show. Craft show will be at Mary Carter Ballfields, and then the car show will be in downtown Auburn. Also, we have the Great American Cleanup coming up on the 28th and 29th, as well as the yard sale on the 29th. So if anyone's interested, we still have openings there, so please sign up.
Okay, council?
Mayor, I'm sorry,
Go ahead, ma'am. No, go right ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you're
Oh,
okay.
you spoke.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I would like to give an update. Some of y'all may know I serve on the SGT team for Auburn Elementary. We just received our mid-year CCRPI scores. I think it's something to be proud of. I know in recent times our scores have not been where they need to be, but with diligence and good leadership at Auburn Elementary, our scores have gone up significantly. So as a city, I think that's something to celebrate. So I just wanted to share that there's a lot of good programs that go on at Auburn Elementary. One of those is the mentoring program. If you've ever been felt led to work with kids and try to help mentor them into doing the right thing and helping them kind of succeed in those roles, I think that's been a large role that's played in their progression, and those scores have obviously shown that through their mid-year. So if there's anybody interested, we're always looking for mentors. I think Auburn Elementary is up to 65 so far, and I think we've got over 100 kids that need. So if you're feeling led, please see me. Stacy Dupre is the one who leads it. It's a great program. That's all I have, ma'am.
Okay,
I'd
Janet?
like to follow behind TJ because I was in that program last year with the tutoring, not with, well, I was tutoring, but with the sponsorship of the children, and it was a great program. Auburn's a great elementary school, and there definitely is a need in the school for mentoring children and helping these families. So thanks for sharing that.
Okay.
I would like to, if it's allowed by mayor and council, I would like to ask to read a letter that was sent this week to council and mayor and was also forwarded to the DDA, to be forwarded to the DDA members about the love of Auburn, Dear Mayor, Rockmore City Council, our city parks provide access to recreational opportunities, increase property values, spur local economies, combat crime, and protect cities from environmental impact. As cities become more densely populated, planners, elected officials, and community advocates need to use parks to help address critical urban infrastructure and public health issues. Parks are recognized as powerful tools for urban communities and local economies. This that I just read is an excerpt from the City Park Alliance in Washington, D.C., Why Cities Matter in Towns, especially I would say small towns. I'm writing this specifically as it pertains to the Burrell Park on behalf of the remaining R.H. Burrell family. None of the family could be here tonight, and so I'm taking it upon myself, because we received it from council and mayor, from mayor to share it tonight. The park was founded in 1992 and constructed on land that was not being used except by a local pulpwood company to stack logs on. And I can remember that then. While I no longer live in Auburn, however, I was raised there and visit almost weekly. The park is a place for reflection and beautiful memories of the town of Auburn. I understand that Whistle Stop Shop Park across the street is now part of the DDA project, which was not considered when the shops were built. The location of the park was a grocery store that was owned and operated by his aunt, Stella Page. She planted the pecan trees, and he said he picked the pecans there as a little boy after working in the store. That property was sold to the city by the Burrell family, and the house was torn down later. Now, I understand that the city is considering relocating those Whistle Stop shops. Burrell Park should remain a place for people to come and enjoy peaceful, quiet time. He now lives in a small town in the mountains of North Carolina, and his parks and public spaces up there are protected well managed by their town leadership. People lunch there, walk dogs, kids play. The Chamber of Commerce has Saturday concerts, etc. Food outlets are not allowed unless part of a festival with appropriate permits. The idea is to drive business to the nearby food outlets, which will hopefully be brought in by the DDA. As one of the original families of Auburn, Mr. Burrell, I am aware that the progress is necessary, but the overall small town feel and culture should be protected. It should be a place where children feel safe, a place where one sits quietly and talks to friends and neighbors who love the park. They are thankful to have a place to remember what life might have been like in a small town where the red bricks were made by hand from the Auburn red clay here in Auburn. That's where the name came from. The Parks family home on Myrtle Street was a favorite stop on my way home to school. My dad and many of the older generation went to school there when it was called the Tater Patch School. The Hawthorne store was a favorite stop for ice cream, Cokes, and candy, not to mention one of Miss Lily Crow's hot dogs. There are memories that will last for generations for me. I ask that any changes to Burrell Park be consistent with its original intention, that is, a place of solace, meditation, and healing. The families and individuals who work hard for your town and generations before you should be remembered and memorialized appropriately. Please do not smudge their vision and history that reminded all of us where we came from. Perhaps looking for some assistance from an outside source, one that is not financially motivated, for keeping the integrity of Burrell Park, as well as the relocation of the Whistle Stop shops to a place better suited as a retail village. I love that idea. Should be considered. One thought perhaps was past the Hawthorne gazebo, that is mostly green space. Should the caboose be used as a food outlet, I ask that it retain its historic character as a caboose, inside and out, with the appropriate memorial marker in place. Respectfully, Michael Burrell, Robert Burrell, and Wanda Burrell, Hawthorne. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie.
You're welcome.
Okay, moving on. We have a need to amend the agenda tonight to add consideration for a resolution regarding the downtown redevelopment. Is there a motion to amend the agenda to add to the voting item?
So move.
Second. Okay, discussion?
I do. Are we discussing this, or is this just a vote?
Right now, this is just to amend the agenda or not, and then if the agenda is amended.
Right.
And it's easy for me to say, if it's added, there'll be discussion when it comes up.
All right, can we add a comment section after the discussion of it? Because
Yes.
it's not on there now for early comments on agenda items.
if the council wants to add that,
I
yes.
would like to add it,
Yeah,
to give
that's fair.
people an opportunity to speak their piece.
Yeah, there's gonna be citizen comments before
You're-
and after.
But I think you're asking for comments on this
Yes,
particular
because it's
matter.
not on the actual
Right.
agenda for the,
So after council discussion, then some citizen comments, and then the vote if we choose to take a vote.
Okay,
I would agree.
got no problem with
that's
that. Okay,
I'll second.
is that, okay. All right, vote,
Yes.
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 okay. Okay, moving on to item number 1. Tonight, we have a public hearing on the Planned Urban Development District Ordinance. May I have a motion to open the public hearing?
So move.
Second,
Second.
discussion? Vote?
Yes.
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 Okay, staff report, Sarah McQuaid.
Mayor and council, it's great to be here tonight to talk to you about the PUD amendment that is proposed on the agenda. As we discussed during the workshop meeting 2 weeks ago, I have made the requested amendments to the ordinance, and those included a density level of 3 units per acre, a minimum lot size of 7,500 square feet, increasing the minimum heated floor area from 2,000 square feet, or to 2,000 square feet for single-storied, I think. Is it 2,000?
2,000 for a single story.
And then 2,400 for multi-story.
26?
Did you say, I have it as 24, that was what I had in my notes. If
Okay.
you would like it to be 26, you could request an amendment or in
No.
your motion.
No, I must have read it wrong.
And then we increased the width of single-family detached units to 32 feet and the attached units to 26 feet. Do you have any other questions?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we will now open hearing for comments. But remember, this is only on the PUD ordinance only. It has nothing to do with any specific property. Any comments regarding a specific property will not be allowed. So I'm going to open it up for anyone to speak in favor of the PUD ordinance. Please state your name and
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of the council. My name is Melody Glauton with Anderson Tate and Carr. It's my privilege to be here this evening. I would just like to add some context and additional information as you consider this city-initiated text amendment with regard to the PUD zoning classification. And in order to do that, I do have some exhibits that I'd like to pass out to the council.
Thank you, sir.
So what you have just received is an illustration. It's actually 3 different examples, and I'd like to just discuss those briefly as you prepare to make a decision on this text amendment. On the first page, you can see example A. I'll refer to that as example A. You can see that the tract is just, again, this is just for example purposes, a 17.5 acre tract. It has the same number of units and has the same density. So you're looking at 52 units at 2.97 units per acre. But what you see is a difference in the lot sizes. When you have a difference in lot sizes, you allow for more open space, more room for amenities, and you have a better balance between a product width and the lot ratio. So again, just for illustrative purposes, so you can visually see what a lot size versus a lot ratio and a product width, what that can look like in a proposed development. On the next page, I'll refer to that as example B. That's a 12.6 acre tract. Again, it is the same number of units and the same density. So you have 38 units at 2.99 units per acre, but again, you see different lot sizes. And that allows for, again, more open space, more room for amenities versus having an amenity that is only in the buffered area, and a better balance between product width and the lot ratio. And finally, on the last page, I'll refer to that as Exhibit C. Again, it's the same acreage, 10.7 acres, same number of units, and same density. You're looking at 32 units for a 2.97 unit per acre density, but different lot sizes. Again, it results in more open space, more room for amenities, and a better balance between a product width and the lot ratio. So just as you're taking this text amendment into consideration tonight, again, sometimes I think it's very easy to sort of look at something in concept in words in a text amendment versus seeing a visual representation of what a proposed development could look like. I know that also in the text amendment, there is obviously a discussion on the minimum heated square footage. And what I would just like to convey to the council is that every increase in square footage can result in a higher price point for the product. And so increasing a minimum square footage, it can result in pretty significant differences in a product price. So you're looking at potentially a $40,000 increase just on a product. I think that there's room to consider that there should be a variety of housing types, and that means sizes and also the type of product that you're looking at. As you're making decisions about this text amendment, again, this is just for illustrative purposes so you can have a better visual sense of what that results in a development. And in my experience, I practice in all different jurisdictions. I've certainly handled many cases that have traveled under a PUD zoning classification. And what you typically see is very much what staff initially recommended at the time you first started considering this text amendment. And that is where you don't have minimums in place, but instead a developer or a property owner would come forward with a proposal, sort of a master plan proposal. And again, it allows for variety within your city. It allows for different property owners who may be in different price points to share the same development. There is a way to have a very cohesive development that yields different product sizes and different lot sizes. There are certainly many cities across this area that have PUD zoning classifications. And again, this is just for additional information as you take into consideration this text amendment.
Okay.
Can you state your address for me, please?
Yes, it is 1960 Satellite Boulevard in Duluth.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is there anyone else?
Thank you.
Okay, we'll close it for people in favor of the ordinance. Does anyone wish to speak in opposition of the PUD ordinance? Okay, all right, with no one coming forward to speak in opposition, may I have a motion to close the public hearing for the Planned Urban Development District ordinance?
So moved.
Second,
Second?
discussion, vote?
Yes.
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 Okay, next I'm going to open it up for citizen comments for discussion on the agenda items. You have 3 minutes. Does anyone want to come forward and speak on the agenda items? Okay, let's move on to the consent agenda. Does any council member have any items that they would like to remove from the consent agenda for discussion in a separate vote?
Yes, I'd like to remove, are we going to table item E?
Yes, sir. Staff would ask that you take 2E off of the consent agenda and then table it to your next meeting. We're just doing some work that goes back to 2019 and just need a little bit more time.
Okay, so I have a motion to take item E off the consent agenda and table it, and we can go ahead and table it till
Yes, sir, that's fine.
the next meeting.
That's my motion.
Second. Discussion? Vote?
Yes.
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 Okay. May I have a motion on the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? Vote?
Yes.
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 Okay. The planned urban develop ordinance amendment, Sarah McQuaid.
Yes, as presented, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them to you, for you.
Okay. All right. May I have a motion to approve planned urban development district ordinance amendment as presented by staff?
So move.
Second.
Discussion? Okay, vote?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. Moving on, the rezoning of Lyle Road and 0 Main Street, Sarah McQuaid.
Mayor, because this item was publicly advertised as being heard here for a final decision, despite the Planning Commission tabling it to their meeting next week, we wanted to bring this before you since it had been publicly advertised and give you the opportunity to table it until the Planning Commission has taken action on it.
Okay, is there a motion to table this item until the planning and zoning has an opportunity to make recommendations?
I'll motion it.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay, discussion? Vote?
Yes.
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 Okay. Next item is the Harmony Grove Cemetery, Michael Parks.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. The Harmony Grove Cemetery had been brought in the past. We were waiting on signed documents from the church to move over to the city. We've received those documents, and so we're ready to take it in for donation.
Okay. Do I have a motion to accept the donation of Harmony Grove Cemetery to the city of Auburn as recommended by staff?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
I will second.
Discussion? Okay, vote?
Yes.
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 Okay, this brings us to the downtown resolution, redevelopment resolution. Jack?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Members of council, I think you know, last week, the Downtown Development Authority approved and executed a lease with a tenant, a ground lease with a tenant for properties in the downtown area, including the former police department and the former city hall. There are a couple of steps remaining for the city to take formally to carry out the plan that's articulated in that lease. I know you all know the history, and I don't want to belabor it, but the DDA was created in 2012 with an idea to encourage development, economic development in the downtown area. I think it was 2016 into 2017 when the plan was created to build this building and relocate the public facilities from where they were before to this side of the railroad tracks and further away. I think that prompted an effort on the part of the DDA to try to find uses for those existing spaces that could be either rented or sold or taken up once the city facilities were moved from where they were to this location. This is a result of negotiations with this particular tenant that have really started last summer, July, August, and continued through the end of the year in the last couple of months. There's been a lot of back and forth on the specific terms, but what the resolution specifically does that's before you tonight would authorize the Whistle Stop shops to be relocated from their current location across 4th Avenue into Burrell Park to allow that corner to be redeveloped. The other thing it would do, consistent with the terms of the lease, would be to provide funds for the relocation of utilities to underground along 4th Avenue. There's a cap. The DDA has pledged to put in $125,000. They've asked the city to put in the same amount. Michael and staff have been working diligently with our state legislature members and have come up with a plan for those funds to be reimbursed to the city or paid through from the state budget. There's some transportation grants and some other public funds that our legislators have worked to make available through the state budget so that really the city would not come out of pocket, or if it did come out of pocket, it would only be temporary and those funds would be recouped from the state. So the resolution would authorize the shops to be relocated. The city would still own and control Burrell Park. Control of the park is not being granted to the DDA or any other party. And then it would authorize the staff to pursue these grants and pursue this reimbursement for moving the utilities along Fourth Avenue to underground. So that's the purpose of the resolution, just to align with what the DDA did last week. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
Are we going to change the name of Burrell Park to the Burrell Business Park?
This resolution does not propose that.
I'm just curious, because it's no longer going to be just a park, it'll be a business park.
And I would also like to state, Jack, and ask you to back me up, that this parcel was not included in the original contract that was presented
It's
from
still
council
not.
in the resolution,
Yeah, it's
in the
still not.
resolution.
Correct, and it's still not, like I said, the city would continue to own and control this property, Burrell Park. City-owned and city-controlled.
Okay, and according to the amendment, we allow citizens to comment first, and then we take the motion, or?
I
is
would
that
like
how
the
we wanna
citizens to
proceed?
have an opportunity to
But that's-
speak on that, since
yeah.
it wasn't on the original agenda,
So
so,
we let them come forward and speak now, and then we get the motion afterwards?
absolutely.
That's good with council? Okay.
Sure.
Yes.
All right, so we're going to open that up for citizen comment. When you come forward, give your name, address, and you have 3 minutes per person, and just allow that there may be several people who want to comment on this. So anyone want to come forward and speak? Okay, can I have a motion to approve the resolution as presented by staff?
I'm curious.
Excuse me.
I'm confused about it. My name is Debbie Newsom. It's not clear to me yet on what you're proposing. Debbie Newsom, 139 Springbrook Drive, Auburn, Georgia. I don't need a time clock. I think back it up and explain what you're talking about doing.
You want me to explain?
Yes,
I'm happy
please.
to answer the question, or y'all, whatever.
Yeah, we're going to move the Whistle Stop Shops across the street, and then we're going to allow staff at City Hall to seek funds to pay for the burying of the utilities.
Where are you putting them on the Burrell Park Pavilion? That's the question. Where are they going to sit? Pavilion is straight out. Are they going to sit in front of it, to the side of it? Where?
What pavilion?
They're
Where-
going to be on the caboose side of the Burrell Park.
Yeah,
Where?
I think,
Draw me a picture, paint me a picture.
Yeah,
Not
we
the
should.
clock, not, turn the clock off, the clock is not fair. You have not painted a fair picture to us out here, because we're confused.
okay, so the current picture has them just lining one side of it, so they're backing up against Mount Moriah, and then the other one lining against basically the brick wall.
Like an L.
Yeah,
It's kind of like an L.
that's the current thought.
Burrell Pavilion is over here,
We're on the other side with the caboose.
we're at the caboose.
Can we show her Exhibit A? Is that possible? The drawing that Michael had?
Michael's got it, don't you?
I'm just trying to get a picture so I can see what you guys have seen that we haven't seen.
I just saw it about an hour and a half ago.
Yeah, we just saw it.
It was different than what was presented in the contract.
Where I'll put it.
I just want to see.
Yeah, show her, Stacy.
Okay. So right here is Mount Moriah. Say this is Mount Moriah, and here's Burrell Park where the walkway currently is. This is right over here. So that's the big square. So basically what we're proposing is the Whistle Stop Shop. So
There it is.
here and then right along here.
Yeah,
We have it right
it
here.
Here you go.
We have it right here.
Railroad track.
Go. You can see the shop design.
Okay. All right.
Cameron Whitehead, 164 John's Bluff, Auburn. So in the contract that was approved by the DDA 5-1, the listed tax parcel is AU 10038A, which is what was voted on, even though it was said, oh, that's in error. It's supposed to be Burrell Park. That's the water tower. That's where they're supposed to be according to what was voted on by the DDA.
Okay, anyone else? Yes.
Good evening, everyone. Damona Mills. I'm not an Auburn resident, but I am Auburn business owner. I don't have a problem with the movement of the Whistle Stop Shops, and I am 1/11 of a collective who actually supports this great town. Putting the Whistle Stop Shops behind the library, by a pavilion that is going to be difficult for people to get to, and talking about your constituents, the people who voted for you actually support these shops. So putting them in a place where we will not be found, cannot be seen or get to safely, I think that would be a poor decision to be made.
Can you show her where they're, yeah, I think she's confused. She's talking about putting them behind a pavilion?
No,
No,
she was
no,
saying that
put-
put them in another location. No,
we're-
Damona knows exactly where
I
they're
know
going.
exactly where they're supposed to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Burrell Park, not the pavilion, and not over there by the library.
Okay.
I do not want them
Okay,
there, and
okay,
the
okay.
collective would not like to be
I
there.
misunderstood. Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yes. So, 4th Avenue in front of the train, it would be great. It's the Whistle Stop Shops. It's an attraction. People know that they're there. If you hide them, they won't at all. And these are people's lives and businesses. So I think we should be mindful of that. Some of us, anyway. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you please state your address?
In Decula?
Yes.
2074, Crosswaters Drive, Decula, Georgia.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else?
Hello, everyone. I'm Vincent Hunter, owner of Stone and Love at Whistle Stop Shops.
Could you give your address?
807 Heritage Trace, Monroe, Georgia. Just to piggyback off of what she said, I remember seeing these shops a long time ago, and they was just the best little thing. And me, myself, I never thought I owned a business personally, but you know, I took what little money I had and I invested in my business. And where we are, I mean, I know it's not the city of Auburn's responsibility to advertise us. I know this, you know. But on the sign right there by the railroad track, it's advertising, you know, the festivals, library. And I'm saying, why can't they just type a little Whistle Stop Shop right here in there? You know what I'm saying? Just you know, just throw a dog a bone, if you will. I'm just saying, you know. And I invested everything I had in this little small business. I'm so proud of myself. I am so proud of myself. And I love it. But I'm just saying, Brooke, she was there at one point. She know the struggle. She know the struggle. And the struggle is real. You know, all we ask is that we are a part of Auburn. You know, I understand all the other stuff you guys are doing, but we are a part. Even though I live in Monroe, I'm still here. I'm still a part. And so I'm just saying it's been hard for the last, I know, 2 years. I mean, it's been a major struggle. It's been a major struggle for everybody. And I'm just saying, I'm not a rich man. I work day to day. I do everything in my shop with my hands, you know. I do it all with my hands, and I'm just saying, it's, when you stay up there all day long and you don't make 1 red cent, that hurts. That hurts. And I'm just saying, we ain't asking for a lot of money. No money. We just asking, go over there to the whistle stop, right there. Right there, just point a sign or something, you know. That's all we asking for. You know, if you could. If you could. If you could. That's all we ask. And I thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, can I have a motion to approve as recommended by staff?
So move.
Second.
Okay. Discussion?
Yes, I actually have a few things I'd like to talk about. I think when it comes to revitalization, there's the term revitalization. You take the key word vitality, right? Life, right? Right now on 4th Avenue, there's just not much life there, right? Just as you've heard from some of our local owners, there's just not much going on. So I keep hearing this thing that we're looking to erase history. Through our discussions of trying to make this work, years before us, right, of trying to get a downtown revitalization project even going, there was no discussions of trying to erase anybody's memory, right? That's been on the forefront through families that work for us. You know, Mr. Parks, his family's been here since the word go, right? So that was from the key moment that we've had discussions. You start looking at the history of Auburn. So once upon a time, there was the Seaboard train came through. There was several businesses to help support it. Actually, this information's on our website. The history of Auburn, right? Talking about that is the 8 businesses, the 8 warehouses that helped supported the train, the 4 businesses on the south side that also helped support the train line. So those are all by the wayside, right? So I think you've got the old City Hall, you've got the Train Master, and then you've got the old building across from the City Hall that exists today. So my point, what I'm getting at is, at one point in time, Auburn was a hustle-bustle little town. Like that's the vision of what I appreciate DDA over the years, even before me, of getting to all the efforts of what we're trying to do today. I'd also like to thank staff. There's been a lot of work that's gone behind the scenes working. It's important. So there is discussions of money going into this, right? But the state of Georgia has seen this as such a vital project to our entire local economy that the state of Georgia has offered to help step in and cover that, right? That's an important aspect of this. That's huge, right? When the state of Georgia acknowledges our little city making moves that impact the entire area, right? So there's a lot that goes into this. It's a lot of intentional planning. So I think another thing that comes to mind is it comes to homes, right? Each development that is offered to do some sort of revitalization has been home heavy. So inside of our downtown overlay, this is a development that has said we don't want to add any more homes to our development. We want to focus on commercial, giving you exactly what you want. That's retail, commercial, added green space, places to eat, right? I look forward to seeing y'all's faces over at restaurants, right? That's the future that I'm looking forward to. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm excited, sir.
Hey, anyone else?
Yes, I'd like to add something to that. I don't think there's any question that we don't want to have this project take hold. My concern and my complaint has been nonstop that a park should not be used for business. It should be a park, a place to sit, a place of silence, not a place of business. That is my complaint. My complaint has not been with the development of the downtown or redevelopment. I think it's a great idea. I look forward to seeing how it turns out. But the park should be left as it is, a park. It seems that nothing is off limits here anymore. You can preach history. I've been here for 35 years. I've been part of that history. That park has been pretty important to a lot of people, and it should remain a park and not a business park. So that's what I wanted to add to this. I'm through with it.
Yes, sir. And just to reflect on what you're saying, I think a lot of notion that comes into staff's planning for that park was to help provide a communal gathering area to preserve as much as possible in retrospective of adding that gathering area, right? So
Should never have a
it's-
business in it.
It's trying to work forward to something that we can all celebrate.
So when are we gonna put businesses on the ballparks? I mean, at what point are any parks around here safe?
I mean,
Just curious.
I don't know how to answer a smart question like that, sir, so.
Well, I'd just like to add that maybe next we are putting businesses on Inclusion Park land that was designated a couple years ago, that was purchased for the purpose of expanding the park. And there is business going on that from the plan I saw that was passed last week. So it's already been in the process of putting businesses on land that was going to be used for Inclusion Park, for the children, for the expansion at the Roy E. Parks, so as well.
Okay, Josh.
Yeah, sure. I'm probably the most visual council member on social media, I'd imagine, and I get dozens of contacts a day, and it's easily 15 to 1, 20 to 1 in support of this. I mean, it's not even close. The citizens want this. Auburn wants this. There's a few loud voices, and then that's about it. I was at a convenience store today picking up a Mountain Dew, and I saw a paper that had the revitalization topic on there that Morgan had written, and the attendant that was, I assume it was the owner, didn't know I was on the city council, and he just said, we need to get this passed. This has got to come in here, and we need this downtown, because our downtown needs something different, and he was in full support of it. I had lunch with a man today who I was just trying to get a location for an end-of-the-year sports banquet, and it just happened to be that the owner of that restaurant is looking to get into our downtown as a restaurant as part of this. I didn't even know that contact had already been made, and he was just over the moon that this thing was going to happen, that DDA signed the contract with the developer to make it happen. And but like I said, it's not even close. I mean, just dozens and dozens of texts and Facebook messages or emails. Auburn wants this. They want it bad. And we're going to get you that downtown traffic. The foot traffic's going to be there. Your business is going to be supported. And it's going to be well-traveled. Within a couple of years, it'll be booming through there. So I think we need this, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I think my favorite citizen comment that I've heard out of all this is, I want to live in Mayberry and not Deadberry.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And I hope only success for Auburn and the businesses. I hope only success, because in the past, I've seen businesses leave Auburn, and if we're following a pattern, I don't want us to follow that pattern, because I love Auburn. I've lived in Auburn for almost 55 years, and I've seen a lot of change in Auburn, and I only want what will make Auburn stronger.
Also, just to kind of add to that about there's people from outside of Auburn have contacted me. The mayor of Decula, I worked with him at Collins Hill. We've spoken about this. There's excitement over there. A friend that I graduated high school with is the version of Michael Parks at a different city close by. And him and I were talking, and he was just going crazy about how much this is going to bring to our city. I ran into a mayor of a city in Gwinnett County at school. I think he was principal for a day, kind of like what TJ did, but he came through our school, and I was like, hey, I know you, and shook his hand, and he brought it up. And just, within an hour's drive of Auburn, people have already heard, and they're excited for it. And it's not just the city of Auburn. I mean, there are going to be people coming in to spend their money in our town, leave and go home, and I think it's going to be a good thing. So,
Okay, I'm going to call for a vote. Vote?
yes.
No.
Yes.
I'm a no.
Yes. Now I'm going to open the floor up for citizen comments, 3 minutes. State your name, state your address, and does anyone want to come forward and make a comment? Okay, with that being said, can I get a motion to adjourn? Second?
Second.
Vote?
Yes.
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 We are adjourned.